When you recorded with Chris and Alex, did you know that that was it? Like that was all you wanted? I just remember when the first time I heard Kid Dakota and first saw it, I was like, whoa, it's just guitar and drums. That's it. And of course, that's everywhere now. A lot of bands, there's so many bands that do that. But at that time, that was the first time I'd seen something where it was songwriting based and kind of a live band thing. But it was.
Yeah.
Did you wonder? Were you thinking like, oh, well, this is a good place to start, but we'll need to fill this in, or?
Well, I always wanted to have more people initially. Like I wanted a big band, you know, or just lots of different kind of instruments. And Christopher was very sort of opposed to that, and a lot of the comments that I got or feedback from people was that, you know, oh, this is really cool as like a duo, you know, it's really stripped down, and you know, the songs get to speak, and you know, there's no gimmick, and it's just, you know, really meat and potatoes. So in that sense, that ended up appealing to me, just how sort of raw and honest it was.
Well, when I heard it too, I was struck by how full it seemed when it was just that. Like, you guys made use of everything you could with just those two instruments. And,
yeah.
And the songs seemed to have, you know, the arrangements and everything were so developed and rich and had so many dynamics.
Right, yeah.
Did when you started, I mean, you had written the songs were written, and then he's just playing drums over them.
Right.
Did you go back and go, oh wow, now that the drums are there, this should be arranged differently, or we should do, or was it, I mean, did his drumming then inform your whole way you were singing your songs? I mean, as far as from a compositional standpoint?
No, not really. Some of the, like all the demos of the stuff for our first record,
which is like an EP.
Right. They're exactly like how the songs ended up being on the album. So the songs didn't really change at all in terms of like what Christopher brought to the band.
What did he bring anything to your approach as a guitarist, or even just the way you played once you were playing with him, like even in a live context?
Well, he definitely brought a level of drama, you know, to the whole thing that I hadn't anticipated before. And Christopher was very much of a showman, so, you know, I definitely, yeah, nipple rings. I don't know if any of you ever guys saw him play with his nipple rings on cymbals, but that was always a little weird. Did you ever see that?
I think so, yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know, he was very serious about performing, and he was very serious about making an impression, and so I sort of took that away from knowing him.
I know when Eric Applewood was here in the fall talking about you guys, you know, when it was like, oh, we need a bass player, and he came in to play a little bit on some stuff, and he was just playing with you guys, and he said, do you remember McGuire, like, sitting him down and saying, you know, you need to, like, you know, play when you're supposed to play, and, you know, be listening, and he cited that as being kind of a major kind of eye-opening moment where he was like, oh, okay, like dynamics and things like that.
Yeah, I remember that moment. That was really tense. Because Applewick's a great musician, and then so McGuire, when he was calling him out, you know, on like not being serious enough in rehearsal and not coming in softly enough at a certain point, you know, I was just like, oh man, this is not looking good for this band.
But it seemed like the whole band was kind of raising the bar on as far as execution and getting those dynamics really precise. It's to me, it's always seemed like that's been just a huge part of what makes it what it is.
Yeah, definitely. And when we were a four-piece, when Eric was playing guitar and Zach Sally was playing bass, I think that sort of attention to detail, you know, that really culminated in what our second album turned out to be. Our second album was the culmination that whole process
Right.
and just painstakingly going over every detail.
I think